I remember the day I arrived in San Francisco. It was a sunny morning. The sky was blue, and the air was fresh. I felt excited and a little nervous. I had never been to a big city before. Everything was new for me. At the airport, I saw many people. Some were talking, some were walking fast, and some were waiting for their bags. I took my bag and walked outside. The city was waiting for me. I got into a taxi. The driver was friendly. He asked, "Is this your first time in San Francisco?" I said, "Yes, it is." He smiled and said, "Welcome. You will love it here." As we drove, I looked out the window. I saw tall buildings, busy streets, and many cars. People were walking, riding bicycles, and talking on their phones. The city was full of life. We passed by a big red bridge. It was the Golden Gate Bridge. It was very long and beautiful. I had seen pictures of it before, but seeing it in real life was amazing. I took a photo from the taxi window. The taxi stopped in front of my hotel. It was a small building with a red door. I thanked the driver and went inside. The receptionist was kind. She gave me a key and showed me to my room. The room was small but clean. There was a bed, a table, and a window. I opened the window and looked outside. I could see the street and some trees. I felt happy. After resting for a while, I decided to explore the city. I took a map and walked outside. The sun was shining and the weather was nice. I walked to a nearby park. It was called Golden Gate Park. There were many people there. Some were jogging, some were walking their dogs, and some were sitting on benches. I sat on a bench and watched the people. It was peaceful. In the park, I saw a beautiful garden. It had many flowers of different colors. There were roses, tulips, and daisies. I took some photos and smelled the flowers. They smelled sweet. I continued walking and saw a small lake. There were ducks swimming in the water. Children were feeding them bread. The ducks quacked happily. After the park, I walked to a street with many shops. It was called Market Street. There were clothing stores, bookstores, and cafes. I went into a bookstore and looked at some books. I bought a book about San Francisco. Feeling hungry, I went into a cafe. It was cozy and smelled like coffee. I ordered a sandwich and a cup of tea. The sandwich was delicious, and the tea was warm. I felt relaxed. While eating, I talked to the waiter. He was friendly and told me about some places to visit. He said, "You should go to Fisherman's Wharf. It's a fun place with good food and nice views." I thanked him and decided to go there. I took a bus to Fisherman's Wharf. The bus ride was short, and I enjoyed looking out the window. At Fisherman's Wharf, I saw the ocean. There were boats and ships in the water. People were walking along the pier, eating ice cream, and taking photos. I saw a group of sea lions lying on the dock. They were big and made loud noises. People were laughing and watching them. I took some photos too. There were many seafood restaurants. I went into one and ordered clam chowder. It came in a bread bowl. The soup was hot and tasty. I enjoyed every bite. After eating, I walked along the pier. I saw street performers playing music and doing tricks. One man was playing the guitar and singing. His music was beautiful. As the sun began to set, the sky turned orange and pink. The city lights started to shine. I felt happy and grateful to be in such a wonderful place. I took a taxi back to my hotel. The driver asked, Did you have a good day? I said. Yes, it was amazing. He smiled and said, San Francisco is a special city. Back in my room, I looked at the photos I took. I remembered the park, the sea lions, and the sunset. I felt tired but happy. The next day, I decided to visit Alcatraz Island. I had heard many stories about it. It was once a prison and now it's a museum. I took a ferry from the pier. The ride was smooth, and the view of the city from the water was beautiful. I could see the tall buildings and the Golden Gate Bridge. At Alcatraz, I joined a tour. The guide told us about the history of the prison. We saw the cells where prisoners lived. It was interesting and a little scary. I learned about famous prisoners and escape attempts. The stories were fascinating. I took many photos and listened carefully. After the tour, I returned to the city. I walked around and visited Chinatown. The streets were colorful with red lanterns and signs in Chinese. There were many shops and restaurants. I went into a small restaurant and ordered fried rice and dumplings. The food was delicious. The waiter was kind and told me about the Chinese New Year celebrations. I continued exploring the city. I visited the Painted Ladies, a row of colorful houses. They looked beautiful against the city skyline. I also went to the top of Twin Peaks. From there, I could see the entire city. The view was breathtaking. I took a deep breath and enjoyed the moment. In the evening, I returned to my hotel. I felt tired but happy. San Francisco had so much to offer. I had seen parks, bridges, islands, and neighborhoods. The next morning, I packed my bags. It was time to leave. I felt a little sad but also grateful. I had many memories and photos to take home. At the airport, I looked back at the city. I thought about the friendly people, the beautiful sights, and the delicious food. I knew I would return one day. San Francisco had become a special place in my heart. It was more than just a city. It was an experience, a memory, and a story to tell. As the plane took off, I looked out the window. The city became smaller and smaller. I smiled and whispered, "Thank you, San Francisco. Until next time."